Hello, it's Sebastian Danicic again. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to define some methods using lists. I'm going to show you bad ways of doing it, what I consider bad ways of doing it, and then better ways of doing the same thing. So what we're going to do is define some static methods here. So we've got one here which the method is called append1, and it returns an array list. That's the return type, and it takes two parameters a and b, which are both array lists. So all we're doing is we say a.add all b, so that'll append b to a and put the result in a, and then we return a. So let's call that method. Let's see what happens when we call that method. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to comment out this bit of code here, which does something which I'll show you later. So I'm going to compile append1.java, and now I'm going to run it. So let's see what the code actually says. So we're calling our method append1. So we've got these two array lists x and y. We're adding 1, 3, and 4 to x, and then we're appending x to x. We're calling our method append1 here with x and x as both the parameters. Now I'm printing out the result of appending x to x, and that's giving me 134, 134, which isn't surprising because we've put x is 134. But now when I print out x, I get 134, 134. So what I don't like about this method here, append1, is that it's changed the value of its parameters. So now, although we wanted to produce the result of appending x with itself, I don't really want to change x. I might want to use x later for something else. I want to store the result of appending it to itself somewhere else, but then keep x the same as it was before. Well, to do that, I've created this other method here, which I've called append2. It's exactly the same type. It returns the array list, and it takes two array lists as parameters. But what we do first is we create, in the body of our append2 method, we create a new array list m, which we assign to the same value as a. Here we're using the constructor for array lists, where we give it a collection here. So m will now be a copy of a. Then we add b to m, so in fact m will change, but a won't change, and now we return m. So now if we replace, so now what will happen when we call append2, the values of this parameter here, this first parameter, will stay the same. So let me give you an example of that. So here I'll uncomment this code here, which involves y. So we here we're adding the same elements to y here. Now here we're calling append, which again should print out 134, 134. And now when we print out y, we hope that it'll still contain just the elements 134. So let me try that. I didn't save that, so I'll save that. Compile it. And here it's worked. So here is the first two that we had before. Here we've got 134, 134, which is the result of appending y to itself. And here's y. As you can see, it's unchanged from where we gave it its values 134. So now let's make a similar method that appends three lists together. So I'm going to copy append2, and I'm going to call it append3. And this time it's going to take another parameter, which we can call c. Seems sensible. So So there's our third parameter c. Now we want to return now the easiest way to do this is to return append. Now we can append 2, which is the good one. We want to append, what do we want to do? We want to append 2 of A with append 2 of B and C. So now here we've called in our append 3 method we're calling our append 2. Now we can do this safely because we know that append 2 doesn't affect any of its parameters. So now let's test that out in the final thing here by saying we could change this to an append 3y, append 3, and now we have to give it an extra parameter which is another y, like that, for example. And let's try compiling and running that. There we go. Here are 3 copies of y, and there's y originally as it was. So when you're going to compose methods together, it's much better if you make sure that they don't affect any of their parameters. It makes life a lot easier for you. So what I'm saying is you should write methods in this style where you first copy the parameters to a local variable, work on the local variables, and don't affect the parameters at all. So here we're returning, we manipulate the local variable, we change that, and we return the local variable, but the global variable, the parameters stay exactly as they are. Thank you.